Hi, Chris.
Hi.
It's nice to see you again.
You as well. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm alright.
Doing okay?
Yeah.
So, the past couple times that we've met, we've been able to talk a little bit about your smoking and about some of the challenges that it has been causing you in your life. You've had some issues with your wife, and you've been thinking a lot about your health and have been kind of going back and forth of whether you are ready to quit smoking or whether it's just not really that time. And does that sound about right?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of deep down know I'm ready and it's time. It's just harder than anticipated.
It's hard to change something that you have been doing for a very long time.
Yes.
We talked, last time about how long it's been. I mean, it's been a decent portion of your life now that you have been a smoker.
Yeah, probably half my life.
Yeah.
And that's pretty sad.
Well, I'm hearing that you're saying that you don't really feel great about this behavior.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I'm old enough and have a brain in my head. I know that it's bad for me. That just doesn't change what's inside my brain, I guess.
Sure. So, I've been thinking that maybe we could use a technique that we call motivational interviewing.
Okay.
And if that would be okay with you, I could explain it to you a little bit, and then we could kind of work through those steps.
Sure.
All right, so motivational
It's
interviewing.
like hypnosis?
No,
Okay.
it's not. Motivational interviewing is a technique that some therapists can use working with the client. We are on a team here, and we kind of just talk about the things that you're feeling related to things in your life that you might want to change, and we can kind of talk about the pros and the cons of staying with the behavior, changing the behavior, and it kind of just helps the client to think about ways that their life could potentially be different if they changed that behavior. So if it's okay with you, maybe we could talk a little bit about some goals you might have for your life, and maybe some things that you see that could be better in your life if you were to make this change.
Sure.
Okay. Can you tell me about some things that you know could be different or better if you were to change this behavior?
If I were to change this behavior, I would be more healthy. I would probably be happier because of the healthier aspect. And my wife wouldn't be mad at me all the time anymore.
That sounds like good motivators.
Those are really good motivators.
Yeah. I just want to take a second to acknowledge them, that I can tell that this has been something that you have been thinking about a lot, and something that you've been working through in your head a lot. And I think that you just want you to know that I notice that you've definitely been thinking about this a lot, and it takes a persistent, strong person to be able to acknowledge a problem and try to work towards changing it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So maybe we could talk just a little bit. I don't want to take too much time to talk about the things that keep you smoking, but I think it is important to acknowledge those things.
I would say laziness is first and foremost. Probably not first and foremost, but that plays into it.
Mm-hmm.
Habit. Just, I can't explain how many times it's subconscious and it just happens, and I look and it's happening. Just muscle memory, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And stress.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress in this body.
Right. So when you're feeling stressed, it's just kind of your coping mechanism to deal with that.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. So it seems, would you say that it seems that from what I'm hearing that maybe the positives to stopping, would you say that they outweigh the
For sure.
positives of staying with this behavior?
I mean, I don't see there being any positives to staying with the behavior.
I think that's important to acknowledge.
I mean, yeah, there's obviously things about it that make me feel good, right? And make my brain happy. But that's it.
Okay. So it seems like you have definitely the motivation behind this decision. You know. It seems like you acknowledge.
Okay.
Okay. So with this information that you have noticed about yourself, what do you think on a scale of 1 to 10 that your desire to change the behavior is? 1 being not really ready, 10 being I'm going to stop tomorrow.
I'd say like 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like you definitely have a strong desire.
I mean, I do. I used to smoke a lot, and I do not smoke a lot anymore. I've whittled it down to a handful.
Okay.
Versus the over a pack per day, which is disgusting to think about.
So you have already made some positive changes.
Yes.
Which is important to acknowledge. So what do you think would be some steps that you would need to take to change the behavior even more, if that would be the choice that you would want to make?
Some steps I need to take? Following through with the decision? Finding something to take its place in the beginning, probably, because I've tried a lot, and it always comes back. I think just something to fill the void, but
Sure.
then I mean that's a slippery slope, right? Depending on what you fill the void with.
So I hear that you're feeling like you need something to kind of substitute maybe the physical and mental act of smoking.
Possibly.
Maybe we could do a little work together to look into what that might look like. I know that I've heard of different people doing different things in the meantime while they're working on their cravings.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something that you would like to do, we could do that together.
Yeah.
Great. So let's just talk a little bit about right now how you're feeling about your ability to make these changes.
I mean, there's days I feel confident in that I can do it. There's days I feel helpless that I can do it. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying every day is different, but there's good days, there's bad days. But I'm pretty confident that I can. I mean, I have to. I'm confident that I can do it.
You have to.
Correct. I mean, I know that.
Okay. So you have your good days, you have your bad days. What do you notice like different things that happen on your bad days? Could you maybe tell me a little bit about what a bad day looks like for you?
Like a bad day smoking?
When you notice yourself maybe partaking in the smoking more?
When I work at the restaurant.
Oh, right.
Because I do that part-time during the week, a couple days a week.
Okay. You had mentioned that previously. Yes.
And that's where old habits die hard, we'll say.
Okay. So if it seems like something that you would like to do, maybe we could start there. if you have noticed, as you've said, that these are days that are particularly hard for you, maybe together we could come up with a plan of what you would like to do to help yourself not smoke on those days that you know that you're working at the restaurant.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that those are the problem areas, or that is the problem area. That's just where it all where it all happens.
Sure. I think that it's important that you recognize that, though, that you have certain triggers, and I think that's an important step. All right. So I think that this has been, I hope, helpful for you today. We've kind of talked a little bit about specific triggers and reasons that you would like to change this behavior. I've heard a lot of about your desire to change, and I think you've acknowledged that you do have the reasons and the capacity to make the changes that you want to change. So if it's okay with you, I hope together maybe we can keep working on a plan, and we can start with the specific trigger of the restaurant days.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Then let's make a plan for the restaurant days, and then we'll make an appointment for next week, and we can talk about how you've done.
All right.
Okay, great. Good to see you again.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.